Well, I'm all for Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes, and I want it all from the lights to the mistletoe. Tell me one thing, is there anything that you're missing? I will keep you warm as soon as you remove that snow. Whatever we do, we will be alright. These holiday wonders will open your mind. May all your wishes tonight come true. The love I lived, the dream I knew. This Christmas I only wanna be close.
How's it going?
It's going great. It's going
Yeah.
good, sir.
Yeah, son.
Where is your blue check?
Yeah, this was a great year. I'm glad. I'm happy that we produced all this great content.
We produced 2 videos.
And one Substack article.
One caused the Tradcath meltdown.
Yes, in this like schizophrenia in the chat.
And the other one was a gem with Big Rye.
Yeah,
but I mean, 2 videos. That's better than 0. I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
it's all good.
It's pretty good, you know.
I think we're back.
Yeah, this was like the most like cuckoo cockabird year.
It was pretty
maybe since 2020.
I think a lot of interesting things happened. A lot of things I thought would happen happened. A lot of things that I didn't think would happen happened.
Yeah.
Like
I like how the geopolitical events that we discussed on last year's holiday special just like haven't changed at all.
I mean, basically nothing's changed except for like Assad just T&D'ing himself and exploding into a million pieces.
Yeah.
That was not nice.
And then his wife divorced him.
No. What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I think it's actually because she's a British citizen, and if she divorces him, like legally, she's allowed to like go to Britain.
Well, she's dying. She's dying of cancer.
Yeah. So I think it's so she can go to like get treatment in the UK.
I hope that's why. I mean, I've heard, from what I heard from like Z-Chuds online, is that they had a very good relationship and they like loved each
I've
other
heard
a
that
lot.
as well. Yeah.
Assad was basically a wife guy. So
yes, I've heard that as well.
So like, I think the divorce is strategic.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't be surprised if it's so that some of Assad's kids can go to Britain to be raised. I wouldn't be surprised as well.
Yeah, if they're her children legally. Because she never gave up her British... Because she's just some, like, woman from Britain, right?
I think so. I don't know. But
yeah.
I mean, John, I like how you're usually a Machiavellian red pill, black pill guy, except for Assad. Like, this divorce...
Except for Assad.
This divorce is for white pill reasons only.
Exactly.
All right. But yeah, so...
South Korea, their birth rate...
Oh, yeah.
What is their birth rate now? Like...
I think it's still 0.6.
Okay, yeah, and then like the one guy who tried to fix it, like, got nothing ever happens burgered.
I mean, I think it's over. Like, you can't fix that anymore. Like, a decade of 0.6 birth rate just kills your country forever. So
yeah, that's like impossible to fix.
I mean, I will say, I don't think South Korea is gonna like stop existing. I just think they're gonna become economically and politically irrelevant. And then North Korea one day might just be like, hey, we have like 500,000 troops on your border. Why don't we just unify? Smiley, like big smiley face, and then and then it'll just be like a China style, like technocratic, like communist TM like state. That's what it'll be like.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. What else happened? Trump almost got like assassinated twice. Like,
yeah. I mean, Trump. Odin himself intervened on the first assassination. He used his warhammer, and it hit the bullet in just a way.
Yeah, more on Odin later. More about
oh yeah. I'll be talking a lot about later. Odin this stream. I'll be talking a lot about Odin.
Yes.
And then the second assassination,
one, the worst ever. Like
worst assassination award. I mean, from what I remember, he had an SKS, right?
Yeah, and he like duct taped a scope to it.
I mean, honestly, with irons,
he duct taped a scope.
If you practiced with irons, he probably could have hit Trump because Trump was only 400 meters away.
Yeah,
you definitely could hit that if you practice a bit with an SKS. So that's pretty scary. Yeah, and then Trump won the election. I was preoccupied at the time, so I didn't hear about it for a while. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm not super surprised. At first, at like 4 or 5 months before the election, I was on the Kamala train. Or no, that doesn't make any sense because Biden was still running. Like the moment Kamala announced her nomination, I was on the Kamala train. I thought she was going to win. But then I started witnessing her levels of like incompetence, and I was the fact
that she is obviously like a medium functioning alcoholic.
Yeah,
that has to be tipsy in order to make public appearances.
Exactly. And I despise the American people with a passion. I'm an elitist. I look down on the fat Mountain Dew drinking slop gobblers, but I guess they had enough intelligence to vote in Trump, even though Trump is immediately. Well, I don't know if he's immediately backstabbed us yet. I don't know. I mean, this whole Elon H-1B visa situation. Like Trump
this feels like a weird op. This whole thing feels like inorganic.
I mean, it feels so sudden, like
because the thing I've noticed is that Trump is like Musk is just like crashing out, and usually people like don't just one day crash out if they're used to being famous, like he is. He's never had like a breakdown before, and you'd think he would have had something like this happen, like sort of temperamentally.
Yeah,
this feels very fake.
It just feels like a weird schizo melt. Yeah, I mean, Musk. I've never seen Elon Musk do this before.
No.
So like I've heard some DR guys say that like this is fourth dimensional chess, and like Trump's gonna come out and announce that he's going against Musk on this. I don't know. It kind of depends. It probably does just depend on Barron at this point. Yeah. Barron has to explain like
strategy,
the Hindu poo-poo situation, and
indeed
like memes to his dad, and hopefully Trump will understand what's going on. That's all we can hope for.
It's a big win. It'll be a big win. I think Barron will come in clutch.
I mean, I was just researching Hindu Indian culture out of a mild curiosity as this whole thing was happening. I discovered that I think in southern India, in like Tamil Nadu, which is like the Dravidian lands, they get poop. They get like cow poop, and they make little human statues out of it, and then they worship them and put candles on them. And like, I think we should just drop H-1B visas from the sky onto that area.
Yes. With the giant C-130 plane.
They could build a poop rocket at SpaceX. And then they could fly to Mars. Oh man. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of blackpilled because I do enjoy aspects of Elon Musk's character, but if this is real and this isn't just like a weird theater performance, then it kind of is over for the Musk gang.
Yeah. Then we had like the Italians, I guess, like going back to their roots and shooting people. That was quite something. I said the Italians went back to their roots. And he could have gotten away with it if he wasn't such a drama queen.
I mean, I thought he was. I thought when I first saw that, I thought that was like a legit hired hired gun assassin. But then I saw the other clip of him like showing his face to some Floyd at a bar. I was like, oh, never mind. He's like some guy. And like, how did he even get caught? Was it just because he showed his face?
Wearing the same clothes and had a gun and his fake ID on him, and then someone recognized him.
What if he, like, when he was in Central Park, he like dumped everything and put on new clothes?
Yeah, I think he just
went, and then he went on like an Amtrak train and went like 9 states west. Just saying, maybe he wouldn't have been caught. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of, I'm not really like, I'm not actually like hyper elitist about it. Like, I'm sure the like faggot CEO he killed was like a dick or whatever. But at the same time, like, very much, there's a lot of Untermenschen energy from like people cheering this on, like these like fat Slavish Americans who can't afford to get like a their Ozempic and their stomach shrunk to the size of an acorn or whatever the fuck people get to not be fat asses. Like, like I understand that like this guy was probably some sort of dickhead, but at the same time, like most of the people cheering on this assassination are kind of Untermenschen-y. So
yeah, what's also like, people have turned this like into like a surrogate, like they've turned this into like a surrogate activity where they're like trying to like live vicariously through him, which is very strange because he's like not actually leftist.
What was he? Was he? Oh, what was his like?
He was like a Paul Scalise, like Lindy Man, like Ted K kind of guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What did he have a full manifesto?
So there's this one on Substack, but people like on the news keep quoting it, but I don't actually think that's his.
Well, at least he didn't.
Because it doesn't match up. That manifesto claims that it's like, I'm mad that like my mom got bad medical care, and that's actually not what he talked about on his social media. He talked about his own like medical problems.
Oh yeah, because his back. So, like his back.
I don't think his mother actually had any serious medical problems.
Because his back hurt too much.
Yeah, he had like this really dramatic surgery, which, by the way, like most back surgery is just like pure like scam artistry. Like there's very little evidence that it actually does anything.
Well, the manifesto wasn't locked behind a Google Drive, right?
No, it was not. No,
unlike a certain girl failure.
Yeah. No, it was on Substack.
Could we have fixed her, John? Could we have?
I don't know. It's possible.
I don't know. It was kind of over. Like I like all my associates and friends when that happened were like, Troon this, Troon that, right? Of course, it's a Troon shooter. And then the truth comes out, and there's silence. There's dead silence. I think a lot of people were deeply saddened by that entire situation.
Yes,
I do think it was kind of notable that like when it came out that it was a girl that did that shooting, like the media kind of just stopped talking about it.
Yes,
which is like, I don't know. I think it's kind of weird and interesting. Like I think society doesn't really know what to do with that, so they kind of just dumped it.
What if all his talks about this?
Oh no, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk. Okay. That's gonna be like a 20-minute like epic that I have a lot to say about. But let's see. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
Oh yeah, someone tried to assassinate Big Nick, and that was also a big failure. Like they.
What
the guy with the crossbow?
What's the lore behind all that? What happened?
I think he was some like schizo who decided to like execute his entire family, then like go visit Big Nick, and then like the cops showed up. He like fled into the neighbor's house and got like obliterated by like the police.
When are we gonna get the body cam footage?
I don't know. I'm sure someone's filed a FOIA request on that one already.
I mean, this is just like, how do you build up like the like Dionysian power to like kill your entire family, and then you just show up to Nick Fuentes' house and you just stand there. You just stand on his porch with like what was that rifle he had? It looked like a grenade.
No, it was a crossbow. It was a crossbow from like Walmart. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Was he gonna like pierce his plate armor? Like it's 15th century France. Like, why did he have a crossbow?
I don't know.
I guess it's quiet. Then he also had a Glock, right, or something.
He had like some 22 pistol, like some cheap 22. So anyway, let's address the schizoid in the room.
Okay, fine. I'll just start talking about this. There's nothing else to talk about.
7 hours of content.
So let's talk about the.
Let's back up here.
Yeah. So I don't really know the timeline here. I don't have an X account. So the first thing I see is this tweet from him. John, do you actually have an image of it you can pull up? Is that possible?
No, he's white. He's blown away all of it, and I didn't save it. But it's like 6 paragraphs.
And he talks about his occult power. He
talks about talking to the tree being angry, like Yggdrasil or something, being angry.
The trees and the native spirits are angry at the white race for not worshiping them or something.
Yeah.
And then what else did he talk about in that tweet? It was just like it was like 4 paragraphs of complete
like literal schizoid
insanity. And I think at first people thought it was ironic, right? Like,
yeah, I thought it was like a bit.
I will say, like
he was doing one of his like fart sniffy like intellectual bits where it's like, hey, I'm really pointing the finger back at you,
like so his name's Rugland, right?
Rudyard.
I don't know why I keep saying
Rudyard, like the poet.
I'm used to calling him What If All-Hist, but now I'm calling Rudyard.
Yeah. Rudyard.
What?
Rudyard. RUDYARD.
Is it Rudyard or Rudgerd?
Yeah, Rudyard.
Okay, that's such a stupid name. Rudyard. He, I when I was like 16 and 17, I watched his What If All-Hist videos with like a mild level of entertainment and joy. And then I stopped watching him. And then I discovered that he was making like geopolitical content like a year ago. I watched a couple of his videos and they were like decent. They weren't like amazing. They weren't terrible. I was like, okay, like I'll put this on while I'm washing my dishes or something. And then then I stopped watching him. And then John informed me that he made like an incel revolution uprising video.
Yeah.
And that got taken down. And like, did you watch that video, John?
I did, yeah. I don't remember it very well. And then he went on Tim Pool's show with Scott Greer.
Okay.
And
We're cooking.
He made a bet that like I think 4,000 people are going to die by April.
4,000
in the Great Uprising.
Is this the incel uprising or is this like the right wing?
I have no general uprising.
Just like a Hearts of Iron, like an EU4 rebel uprising.
Yeah, when your like national spirit gets too low,
and like rebels will start marching around and sieging down provinces. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of happening. I was kind of noticing that like his videos were getting kind of weird a tiny bit.
Yes.
And like I noticed that a year ago because like just the way he was presenting his content and like the way he was titling things, it was very I don't know, it gave me a weird feeling a little bit. But
yeah,
I kind of just forgot about him. I have my own life. I don't get the same thrill from all his content anymore. And then I see this tweet and I'm like, that's entertaining. And, I had also assumed it was just a joke. And then I think John, you like,
I sent you
sent me
an archive link.
Well, you sent me the archive link. And then at the same time, I see the infamous mom clip.
Yes.
I don't know if the people watching have seen this clip, but in the clip, he claims that his mother, I believe, raped him like 400 times.
or 40 or something crazy. Yeah.
From age 7 to 10. And that she would like schizo rant and say that his penis belonged to her, and like that and the thing is that little clip is just the tip of the iceberg of this entire this entire epic that I
watched everything.
Okay, I did not watch everything. At around hour 5, I got pretty sick of it, and I just started skipping around. He really, really likes to repeat himself.
Yes, he does.
I'll just, as I go, I'll kind of explain some of the highlights that he really wants to get into your head. But, I mean, where do I even begin? Let me think. Part 1 was just like his life. It was kind of interesting, but it wasn't like super schizo in comparison to part 2 and 3. Like part 1 was like 2 hours long. He just talks about how he was like an autistic, like Anglo kid in New England, like doing what they do with like high school clubs, and getting obsessed with like strategy games and drawing maps. I think he drew maps in middle school, and like his teachers like said, "Oh, he would." So like one thing he kind of added, I think this is all made up, but like he claimed that a lot of people in his life started saying that like, you will do great things. You're going to found a religion. You're going to found
I remember this
religion.
part. Yes.
And
which I don't think is true at all. I don't think anybody ever said that. At least when he was a child.
Like no one tells a child they're going to found a religion. So, but yeah, part 1's kind of boring. I don't really remember much about it. I just remember it was like his life story, but not the schizo life story. Just I think part 1 he still had some level of sanity left, and he kind of just started talking. Part 2 is really where it gets interesting. He kind of just dives right into like his 20s, and he taught like Rudyard. I cannot say his name. What if Alt-Hist is a very fascinating guy. You know, I cannot tell if he's like an incel or not. Like the way I actually kind of believe a lot of these stories about him like clubbing in New York with a lot of like Harvard grads and stuff. I don't know what college he went to. Did he even go to college?
I don't think so. No. But like, I think he went for like a semester and dropped out or something. I don't recall. But he did not finish college.
Oh, I remember now. He went to college. I think he went to college in France for a while because his mom made him learn French at a young age or something. Or maybe he lived in Quebec. I don't remember. But anyways,
he went to a 2-language school.
Yeah, he was he kind of just talked about like in his 20s he was like partying with like CEOs of like tech companies and stuff. And like I guess I can believe it maybe. And then he was also what else was he doing? Oh, he was like dating Instagram models, which I kind of maybe believe. But like they were all like singular dates that never went anywhere. And like I don't know if he's an incel or not, because like he said he mentioned sex one time and it was, oh my god. It was literally, it was if he was having sex and a woman touched his crotch region, he would have like a shaking panic attack. Because that's where his mother like quote unquote raped him when he was like a little boy or something, and he would like shake uncontrollably and start screaming. But that's like later. That's mentioned later. But you know, I bring this all up because he just has such strange, like he has the story of like a Wall Street burnout, like Harvard grad. But instead of like that turning into a job at Wall Street and like a trophy wife, he's just this weird incel who like I think he lives at his parents' house in Texas. And he's just gone completely schizophrenic. John, are you alive?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So and then it gets weirder.
It gets much worse. So so let's kind of break up the timeline. So, what if Otis he has kind of a normal kind of chuddy like autistic childhood and teenage years. He looks at a lot of
Except for
maps.
like all the stuff that happened to him with his like mom and babysitter, which we'll get to that.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. I really don't think that happened. I'm just gonna be honest. I think his parents got divorced. I'm not sure when. I think when he was in his early teens, they got divorced, and there was a
And I do
custody
believe
battle.
that.
I
believe
100% believe the divorce, and I do believe the custody battle, and I also do believe his mom could have been like a shit lib, like mildly schizophrenic, annoying mother. I that's all possible. I actually think those are real, but I don't believe the other accusations. I'll explain in a minute. But also, like somewhere in this timeline, his mom gets kicked in the head by a horse.
Wasn't it when she was pregnant with him or something?
No. So he was like a little kid, and his sister was little too, and then his mom got kicked in the head by a horse, and he claims this is when his mother went completely crazy. I don't know. I just don't know anything about that. I just think it was kind of funny. The way he told it was really funny. It was like
horses also make a reappearance in this story.
Oh, oh yes,
yeah.
yes they do. Oh no. Okay, I'll talk about that. So, but the horse, oh, what was I don't even remember. It doesn't really matter. Oh no, yeah. He claims that after his mom got kicked in the head by the horse, she turned into quote evil mommy, and this is when things got downhill. But that's all irrelevant. He like graduates high school, and he didn't think he'd graduate high school because his mom was like so evil to him. He thought he was gonna die or something. And
which
like
I don't. That seems like not.
No, I don't. This is all. I think this is all fake. And then I think he was praying to God, every night that he would be removed from the suffering of his life in high school. And this is all important for later, I promise. And then I don't really understand what exactly happened from high school to early 20s to where he was partying in New York City. I think it might have been like connections through his YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, he has a lot of very like high position friends and very wealthy friends. I know that is a fact.
Wait, what'd you just say?
I said I know for a fact that he has a lot of very wealthy and influential friends. That's not a lie.
He is friends. He's also friends with that British adventurer. What's that guy's name? Lord Miles or whatever.
Really?
They were going to go to Afghanistan together, and I actually believe this.
I do. Yeah, that seems very plausible.
And then I think they had to cancel it for some reason, some like scheduling conflict or something. But he makes some powerful and influential friends. His YouTube channel was also very successful.
Yeah, so he probably made a decent amount, at least like if he wasn't living independently full time and he didn't pay for college, then I'm sure he made enough money to get along with from the channel because it was pretty popular.
And like, the popularity of that channel is mildly baffling if you look back, because I think
it is.
He used like PowerPoint, and like he would just make shit up for like 20 minutes. Like, like what if France won the 7 Years War, and then it would just be like some shitty maps he drew in like MS Paint, and it would get like 6 quadrillion views. So like a complete, like, talk about a media drought. But anyways, at some point, like after all this partying, he got his hands on some like ayahuasca, right? And
and we all know from that Landshark tweet.
Wait, what does it say in the Landshark tweet?
The one where it's like, it's like possibly the most dangerous substance ever, and you're basically like one-shotting yourself with demon magic.
Oh yeah, no, I actually really believe that now, because I think pre-ayahuasca, like what if Alt-Hiss was just like a nice little autistic incel man who made fun little videos on his computer. And then afterwards, I think he had a complete mental collapse.
Yes.
And I honestly, I think it might have been quite small, because I think he took ayahuasca a couple of years ago. And between that consumption of that demon magic and today, he was still trying to make videos, and like, you know, as I said, I think his like geopolitics videos were okay. I don't think they were anything special, but you know, they could be thought provoking on occasion. But he clearly, I think in the last couple of months, that consumption caught up to him.
Yeah.
Should I jump right into the?
Yeah, let's jump into the insanity.
Okay, so video 2, he talks about like his 20s, as I said, and then I think like partway through part 2, I might be wrong. On like some like chud in the comment section is gonna like freak out. I don't really care. But some like at some point in part 2, he starts talking about what his mom did to him, and he claims that his mom got kicked in the head by a horse, and she was already prone to schizophrenia, and those two things kind of merged together into evil mommy. Now, evil mommy went through a multitude of phases. I believe she was like a Marxist. She was like a Marxist, like critical theoretician. And you know, just for context, I think she either went to Harvard or Columbia. So like, I bet this woman's probably fairly smart, and I bet she did have a little bit of like schizo. But I don't believe the things that he said she did. But so she went through like a Marxist phase, and then she went apparently through a Christian fundamentalist phase. And then she went through a couple other phases, and then she kind of like halted on like shitlib hippie, like shitlib hippie mom kind of stuff. And then after that, she proceeded to like sexually abuse him, his sister, and their babysitter somehow.
Yeah, which is one of the things that really set me off, that this
like,
is not necessarily true.
And just the way she did it was very strange. Like, she would order her babysitter to do things. She would pin him down in like the bathroom and like slam his head against the floor. And apparently that incident was so bad for What If Alt-Hiss that it caused like an ecstasy psychological release. I don't know what that means, but that just stuck out to me. And she repeated these events from like ages 7 to age 10. And just I kind of just don't believe this happened.
No, I do not either. I've witnessed what it looks like when boys were abused by their mothers, and it doesn't look like this. This sounds like what somebody would think it's like, but the kind of behavior he has is not what I would expect.
Well, I will say it's definitely like if what happened actually if what he claimed happened actually happened, I mean, she would be in prison. So if his mom ends up on like the Texas Federal Registry of Criminals or whatever, then I'll rescind my comments. But I do not think that's going to happen. I think what might happen, maybe she'll post on Facebook that she's sad that her son has gone like fucking bananas. But you know, overall, I don't think these events occurred. But anyways,
I think he actually thinks they occurred. He totally believes this.
I think the ayahuasca trip, it not only like it can definitely just destroy your mind. I think it also just opens up your mind to a lot of other like nonsense,
like suggestibility.
Yeah, like he was doing this form of therapy where like you put a metal rod in front of your face and you move it around, and it's supposed to like change how you think, like like your brain patterns and how you think and how your brain processes information.
Yeah.
And he talked about that a lot. And like anyways, his mom only stopped all this abuse after he like used his own physical strength to stop her at like age 10. And then
just another thing I don't believe. That was like number 2 of what I did not of what really set me off.
What set you off about that?
Because that's not usually what happens.
How does it usually end
with that kind of like maternal abuse? Usually it ends when they get to a certain age, and they're no longer, because usually it's like a parent abuses a child at the age they were abused, and
okay.
At a certain point, especially with women, and then after a certain point, the children age out, and that's no longer a psychological trigger for the parent.
Okay. That's fascinating.
Again, the story of one day I was too strong and she couldn't hurt me anymore. That's what you would think it was like, right? If your brain was fried on ayahuasca and you were trying to rationalize why you hate your parents.
Yes,
that is certainly something you would think.
I definitely believe he definitely hates his mom. I don't think he hates his dad.
No.
I think he hates his mom because I get a vibe that his mom was very bitchy at the divorce court. And really,
I think he's really traumatized by seeing his
dark red
he's very traumatized by seeing his father emasculated by his mother and by the court. I think that's kind of the root of this.
And so you do think that's real?
Like I think that's absolutely real. I think
he also
really
claims
him as a child.
Like he claims that his dad or that his mom would like sue for just like 30 minutes of like weekly time, like every 30 minutes, like blocks.
Yeah,
because
I believe that.
like separating custody and all that shit. So you think that was all real?
Yeah, I'm sure that was all real. That is very in line with like the actual behavior of abusive parents in divorce court. The kind of really petty, using children as pawns, trying to emasculate the husband if it's the wife. Like that's very common.
Yeah, and that actually kind of ties into this because What If has talked about honor a lot, and like What If Hist is kind of obsessed with his ancestors to like an unhealthy degree. I know who my ancestors are, you know who your ancestors are, and like it's fun, it's cool, whatever. But he just like assign, like it's kind of like a survive the jive, like pagan power, like my ancestors lived directly through me, and like
like the Northman.
It's like the Northman.
You're filled up with a brill from your ancestors.
Yeah, it's like he talks about honor and like how everything in his life revolves around honor, as if it's like 18th century Ireland, and he's like a potato farmer, and like O'Malley, the sheep farmer next door, like chopped down one of his oak trees, and now they have to duel with swords at like 6 a.m. or something. He just wouldn't stop talking about his honor and how he viewed this is like some weird post hoc ayahuasca rationalization of like every interaction he's had in his life has been about honor.
Yes.
And I think this applies to his dad, because I think he basically views his dad as being deeply dishonored by like the divorce. And like his dad doesn't have any honor left. And I think that is probably why he has such a hatred for his mother at this point. It's because his dad, to be fair, I think his dad sounds like an autistic, like Werner von Braun tier, like Anglo-Saxon, Germanic, Celtic guy who like should be designing rockets or something. And he basically got cucked by the court and like emasculated, which sucks. But that doesn't like that doesn't mean you should like make up insane asylum stories about your mom. And like post them on the internet for hundreds of thousands of people to hear. But yeah, that's just my theory, because he really hammers in his Irish honor a lot in this stream.
Yeah. I think a lot of his like some people can handle studying comparative religion and some people just are not built for it. And I think he is one of those people who was not built for it.
Yes, he talked, as I was kind of listening along, he started talking about Evola and Hermeticism. Yes. And like
there are some people who are just not designed to deal with that kind of stuff.
Like I read comparative religion stuff and I'm like that's cool. And then I put the book down and I don't read it anymore because I don't think it's that interesting. I don't really think there's anything there. And then there's some people who took ayahuasca and they read this stuff and they go kind of nuts. And I'll talk about that in
this guy was probably 2 bad decisions away from becoming Eastern Orthodox.
Oh man, that would
I'm right.
No, you honestly, like if he had stumbled on some Jay Dyer podcast, he probably would have like immediately gone down the EO rabbit hole.
He is the exact type for that.
Actually, I would not be surprised if in 2025 he does that, especially after his predictions fail.
He's gonna have the worst crash out ever, because there's no way that like I've been joking that it's 14,000, but I think it's actually 4,000.
That's still like a lot. Happen. Like how many people died in like the Italian years of lead? Like a couple hundred? Like
I think like 700 or 800 at most.
Like 4,000 people in political violence.
That would mean that there was like
4 months would be insane.
Like 2 9/11s.
Yeah, I don't.
Like 4 months. I don't.
He should have made it like 40 as a prediction, not 4,000. That's a lot. That's an entire legion. Like that's a lot of people. But anyways, so we kind of have like pre-ayahuasca, what if all his, then we have post-ayahuasca. And as I said, I think he was kind of bottling up a lot of schizo energy. And then I don't know. Do we have any idea what was the trigger for all of this?
I don't know.
I don't know what. I'm sure like someone who follows him closely on Twitter probably knows. I don't know what the
he'd been posting really like cryptic, like schizoid stuff in like these little micro tweets for the past week. Like saying people forget Jesus was like an Asian mystic or something. Like these very like
whoa, that's your like comparative religion
cousin flavor. Would like watch a Joe Rogan podcast with like whatever Hancock who talks about ancient civilizations, and then like
Graham Hancock, my favorite.
Yeah, Graham Hancock. Like he'd send you like the link to an Amazon book.
Wait, did he actually link Graham Hancock books?
No, I'm just saying it's like that. It's like that kind of energy. So he was giving off that kind of energy for the past week. So this has been like a slow build up.
I do have to wonder, what did he predict Trump would win?
Yes, I think so. But I don't. He called it pretty late, I think.
Okay, but I was just curious. But,
yeah.
It kind of fits like how he views the world. But anyways, so he posts this insane schizo tweet, and I was kind of looking into it, like how did people take it? I went on r/Vosh, which is like a swamp pit of horrors, but I saw them talking about it, and even they thought it was a joke. A lot of them thought it was a joke because it's like so. It's so insane.
I thought it was the first time. I thought it was so long that I felt there's no way someone is going to effort post for a bit this hard. I bet this is AI, but this is not. I don't think this is AI anymore. I think that he is completely serious.
And like you can find it on some archive or something. I'm sure like a million people have screenshots. But anyways, after that, I don't really know the timeline between that post and the videos, but after that he makes
almost concurrent.
Let's see. It was about 9 hours of streamed content over, I believe, like a couple days, because as I was watching
like the past 3 days.
He was changing clothes, and like I could see in the window it was day and night over and over again. So this was probably took some time to make. And I mean, well, I guess that's what I've been talking about. So, he does part 1, part 2, which is what we're talking about. And then I think around the end of part 2, maybe mostly no, I'm just going to skip to part 3. Part 3 is really where he goes completely insane. So part 3 is 4 hours long. I did not watch all of part 3 because I value my
4 hours long.
I don't want to watch 4 hours of someone having a schizo meltdown. But in part 3, he kind of takes a third person perspective
of his own life.
Of his not just his own life, but like the universe itself and humanity. So he's like a co-pilot with Odin. So the great Allfather, hail Odin, hail victory, and all that. But he takes Odin, and he talks with Odin about humanity and how arrogant and how we're like Sodom and stuff like that. And then he actually equates Odin with Hermes Trismegistus, the Egyptian wizard.
Yes. So this is like an Evelian
this is like I think even Evela would give him this little stare and be like, what are you what are you talking about? This is something I've never heard before. I've never practiced the occult, but I've been in pagan circles for a while. Like I've messed around with pagan circles. I've never heard anyone equate Odin with Hermes Trismegistus. I don't really think that makes any sense. But he claims that this is obvious. This is a very obvious conclusion to make if you've read what he's read, which is like Evla, and I'm sure he's read like the Emerald Tablet, and he's probably read the Eddas and stuff. I will say I do think I think he's a very well-read person. I do believe him. I bet he has read a lot of books. But yeah, so him and Hermes Trismegistus Odin kind of just start berating humanity, and then they say that they love humanity, and then he talks about how the modern industrial society is the autistic outlier of history, and how we're going to return to religion and spirituality and stuff like that. And he keeps yammering on and on.
This guy was just one bad decision. Actually, this is one bad decision away from becoming Eastern Orthodox. If he would have read Callistus Ware, or who is that weird hippie monk from California?
No, he reads Father Seraphim Rose. He reads Father Rose before
Evola, because both Seraphim Rose and Evola were practitioners of Wicca, and Seraphim Rose read a ton of Evola. They're very similar. So if he'd have just read Seraphim Rose before Evola, he'd be on the J Dyer Discord server right now.
Oh, honestly, if he converts to EO, that would just complete the timeline for me, and I would be okay with it. I'd be okay with it. But anyways, he then after berating humanity for a while, he then talks about the Germanic race, and
oh no.
so this is how. So this sounds like something from Himmler's diary in 1943. So apparently the Germanic race was a swamp dwelling race of Untermenschen until they met. I think it was the unassuming wizard, which is
he most is Gandalf, right?
It's basically himself. Gandalf. It's Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
If he thinks that he and Gandalf are the unassuming wizard, right?
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember the lore.
So okay, so let me go back. So what if Otis believes he's a wizard? He literally believes he's a wizard, and that
specifically he believes he is. He believes that he is Mithrandir from Lord of the Rings.
Which one's
right?
Mithrandir? Is that Gandalf? I don't remember.
That's Gandalf's real name.
Sorry, I don't have the Lord of the Rings autism levels, but he believes he's Gandalf, and he also believes that he's gonna he kind of said this without saying it, because like what if Alt-Hist is kind of like cucky on his right-wing takes. He's basically gonna save the white race by being a wizard.
He, or possibly another avatar of the unassuming wizard, granted the Aryans their power last time.
Yeah, so like in like the Iron Age, Gandalf met with the Germanic race, and they made a deal. And the reason why Gandalf liked the Germanic race is because they chose. It's like they chose the unassuming wizard.
Yes. They, instead of going with the Kurumo or Saruman, they went with
they didn't go for like the crazy wizard. They went for the unassuming wizard. Yeah. And so Gandalf, which is backed by Odin, because Odin is the god of the white race.
Okay,
he's like Makes the sense. Angel. He's the angel of the white race. Like,
wait, Luthemplar? Like, is this like a Luthemplar take?
This is like Luthemplar's most powerful take. But so the Germanic people did this, and then over hundreds of years they conquer the world. And Odin is very happy and proud that we conquered the world, but he's also now like angry that like we're now degenerate. And we watch anime, and like we like girl failures and stuff. And now Odin is like, oh no, now Odin and Yahweh. So like,
yeah, because Yahweh also exists in this.
So Yahweh is like the master of the gods, and Odin is like an angel of Yahweh. And what if Alt-Hist does claim to be a Christian? He's like a Christian.
Yes. But he's like a Neoplatonist almost. He treats like Yahweh like the Deus Pater.
Yes, paganism. Like Yahweh basically
is the religion. He basically is the religion from Lord of the Rings.
Yes. Yes.
There's exactly. Like Eru Iluvatar, and then there's like the Maiar and Valar, who are like the emanations of Iluvatar, but they're sort of like persons in their own right, and they're like angels, and they have agency. That's like, yes, but they're like animating underlying spirit as Iluvatar. That's how his religion
works. Exactly what he believes. I mean, I think he believes all the pagan gods are just like angels of Odin or angels of Yahweh. And Yahweh is like the most. Oh yeah, Yahweh also guides Darwinism. Because I mean, you have to remember, John. What if Alt-Hist he's synthesized and harmonized Platonism, Aristotelianism, Darwinism, and Christianity together into one system.
Okay.
And I think, that's quite a feat. I think we should really respect his intellectual capacities. But yeah, so he just kind of schizo rants about how like Odin is mad that we're polluting the river, and how like the Native American like tree spirits are also mad. Oh, he can also hear, like he can hear these spirits all the time.
Yeah, trees talk to him. Like
trees talk to him. He can hear his audience through the computer screen.
Yes, like real and true.
like certified real and true. But yeah, he just continues. I would say there's a couple other highlights that I'll talk about. He at one point he pulls out a sword. I don't know where he got this sword from. I think it should be taken away from him so he doesn't hurt himself. But he takes out like an iron sword and he starts swinging around, and he's like, "I will not let men be reduced to cattle. I won't allow it." And like, and then he compares men to stallions. So, this is a fascinating. So he claims that this is kind of like a red pill, like black pill take. Like men have been reduced to stallions, where like Chad is the stallion, and he gets to mate with all the mares, and then all the other male horses are turned into geldings. And a gelding is a male horse that's had its testicles removed. I think he forgot that, and he was trying to make like a comparison to nature. He claimed this was natural, and I think he forgot that like that's not how it works in nature.
No.
In nature, like horses are in little groups of like 20 and they mate normally. And like on a farm, they only do that because like one stallion is objectively better than all the other male horses, and it just makes economic sense to breed the best horse possible.
Yeah.
And turn all the other male horses into riding horses.
Less food because they don't grow as big.
Yeah,
they don't have as much testosterone, so they don't eat tons of food, and feeding horses is expensive.
Yeah, so he just, I think he assumes that like horses' balls just fall off in nature or something. I don't really know. Yeah, that was a highlight. What was the other highlight? It was
Oh, Wotan asked for something.
Oh, oh man. Okay. Yeah, I didn't get to watch this part in the stream. I missed it. But so Odin in his wisdom, he asked for a goon list in a blue room too. So the blue room is another thing I forgot to mention. So this is another ayahuasca like invention, but ever since What If Alt-Hiss was a little kid, he would dream about a blue room, and there'd be a god with a hood on in the room asking him questions. And he's had this dream all the time since he was a little kid. And during his ayahuasca trip, or maybe afterwards, he had another dream where it was revealed to be Odin in the blue room. And then Odin asked him for a goon list, a list
of every Foid he's ever gooned to.
And I think that's a very powerful list. I think there's a lot of Odinic potential there. That's a very dangerous item. It's like a bone rune or something that like you give to someone to curse them.
It's like a lock of someone's hair.
like a full goon list, like written in runes. But so he makes this goon list and he gives it to Odin. And apparently, like, What If Alt-Hiss realizes that the goon list is 100% white. And I don't know how Odin reacted to that. I think I can only imagine Odin smiling, like a big fat Odin smile. He's very proud of his Aryan offspring for keeping it in the family, right? But yeah, I don't really have. That's kind of the end of it. I would just say it's not worth watching. I only did it because it's like Christmas break and I don't have anything better to do. I'm trying to be as lazy as possible. But I would say Rudyard or whatever has gone completely insane.
Don't take ayahuasca. That's just like the moral of the story. If you don't want to end up like
I have zero interest in ever
taking ayahuasca.
I'm not against like some drugs, but definitely I would not take that. That clearly can just destroy your mind very fast. I mean, I have heard from like Buddhist monks that like basically like if you meditate for thousands of hours, you can like simulate some aspects of ayahuasca. And then they say like, it takes thousands of hours to do that for a reason, because you need like a different, like it's like you're changing your mind slowly, and then like ayahuasca, it's just dunking your head into like sulfuric acid of
well, there's like this obviously there's obviously a relationship with these online influencer guys that take ayahuasca and then become join Eastern religions very quickly. Like Mike Cernovich did that. He absolutely just cooked his brain.
What did he join?
He became Eastern Orthodox. He absolutely cooked his brain on ayahuasca and became EO. It was around the time he started getting old, and I guess couldn't like hook up with 25-year-olds in bars anymore. So he took some ayahuasca. Worst idea ever. He also did some other things before that, but we won't talk about this.
But yeah, I just it was a very fascinating. My kind of final thought is that like I can only take this as a clear pill. Or like a white pill, clear pill. It's like modernity is so fucked up that a fairly intelligent autistic guy, and I would say What If Alt-Hiss, he's 6'4".
Really? I was always under the impression that he was pretty short.
he's 6'4". He's not ugly. Oh. He's not an ugly guy. He's not especially handsome, but he's not ugly. You know, and he's like fairly intelligent. I think he's a bit autistic, but he's like not retarded. And, you know, I think in the 60s or the 50s, he would have probably would have gone to like a nice Ivy League school and then ended up being like an anthropologist or a historian. And he'd be writing like books right now. And in modernity, his parents got a schizo divorce. He made a YouTube channel, and then he took ayahuasca and had a mental breakdown. Yeah. And I really think, I don't know, what I've kind of gotten out of this is like, it kind of doesn't matter like how good of a start you have. Like in many cases, like modernity is just so fucked up that it can just result in you just completely crashing and turning into a guy like one of Autist. Yeah, that's my final thought.
Yeah, just don't take ayahuasca. It's really that easy.
Yes, maybe like don't do that. Forgive your parents for whatever they did, because they're just humans. I'm only human after all. Like just relax. But yeah, I mean that's my story for today. That's my little pre-New Year's story. You got anything else, John?
No, we've been going for about an hour, so
yes, dude.
I think that's a good episode.
Do we have anything planned for 2025, John?
Oh hell no.
Well, we have one. I think we have one thing in mind.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, working on that still. Trying to figure out who's going to come on and guest on that one. But
do you want to give them a little tease about what it is?
No, because I don't have a guarantee that it's going to happen.
No. Okay. Hopefully it does happen, because I think it'd be one of our gemmiest videos, but I think it would also be one of our most controversial videos. I really think we could cause some trouble. I think it'll be funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll see you all in the new year. How's that sound?
We will hopefully upload at least once or twice in 2025, maybe more if we're motivated. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.